Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's happening?
Let's face it, running a small business is a roller coaster of emotions. The reality is there's no way to completely avoid the chaos. But the people, processes, and systems you built into your business can be the difference between thriving and sinking.
Yeah.
If you're a business owner or entrepreneur feeling the chaos creep into every area of your life, you need the Organized Chaos Podcast, hosted by Trainio founder and CEO Chris Ronzio. You don't need another podcast with thought leadership fluff. You want practical entrepreneurial advice that can help you build a better business today and get back time to do more of the things you love. You see, every weekday, Chris shares bite-sized topical episodes on small business leadership, people management, productivity hacks, and entrepreneurship. And it doesn't stop there. On Fridays, they feature exclusive interviews with today's top founders, authors, and the leader in the space. Names like Sam Parr, the founder and CEO of The Hustle, the author of Scaling Up, Vern Harnish, and Shark Tank host, Damon John. Join the thousands of monthly listeners learning how to organize the chaos in their business. Available to stream on all podcast apps or click the link in the show notes.
Broadcasting across the nation from the East Coast to the West, keeping you up to date on technology while enjoying a little whiskey on the side. With leading-edge topics, along with special guests, to navigate technology in a segmented, stylized radio program. The information that will make you go, Pull up a seat, raise a glass with our hosts as we spend the next hour talking about technology for the common person. Welcome to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, the show that makes you go, Technology News of the Week, the show for the everyday person, talking about technology, broadcasting across the nation with insightful segments on subjects weeks ahead of the mainstream media. We welcome our radio audience of 35 million listeners to an hour of insightful technology with a little whiskey on the side. I'm Nathan Mumm. Welcome to our show today. We live stream during our show on 5 of the most popular platforms, including YouTube, Twitch.tv, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We encourage you to watch us live or visit us at techtimeradio.com. Tweet us during the show by using the hashtag TechTimeRadio, and we'll do our best to respond to your tweets. You can also check out our new TikTok channel by looking for TechTime Radio on the TikTok app. Get our intern shorts or full video recaps of the show. And again, always visit us at techtimeradio.com for show information. I'm your host, a technologist with over 30 years of technology expertise working for Fortune 500 companies across the country. My co-host here, Mike Roday, is an award-winning author, originally from Arizona. Mike is a human behavior expert living in the Seattle area with a master's degree in forensic psychology. Mike helps me from geeking out while providing an insight into human behavior and how it interacts with technology. We are two friends from different backgrounds, but bring the best technology show possible every week for our family, friends, and fans to enjoy. We have a little extended weekend here, that Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, it's already over.
It is already over. Everything's
How'd
back.
that
Ready to
happen?
go. You know what? You get that extra day off, and you totally forget that you have to get in tune of everything else. We didn't have a production show meeting, so today's show is written all by Nathan Mumm. So, oh boy, you cross your fingers, and then hopefully it comes together,
That might
right?
be a disaster.
That's right. That's all right. Well, now that we got everything ready, let's get ready to start today's show.
Now on today's show.
Today on Tech Time with Nathan Mumm, Facebook is shutting down its Nextdoor clone next month. We're going to be talking about that.
No way.
Yeah, Meta gets fined $400 million for failing to protect kids' privacy
No way.
on Instagram. All these are just non-shockers to you, aren't they?
No.
Brazil orders Apple to suspend iPhone sales without a charger. That's a very interesting article. And the Amazon, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, better than expected, or did it not meet expectations?
Like everything in the universe today, it has blown up both sides of that river.
It has. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And then we have a special guest, Eric Olson, the founder of Consensus, is going to join the show. And we're going to look back at what happened on September 7th, 1998.
What happened in 1990?
Well, we're going to talk about that in our look back, Technology This Week.
Is that like some sort of
Was that? Don't spoil it. In addition,
boy band phase?
no.
Was that
There was lots of boy bands back then. But Then we have our standard features, of course, our technology fail of the week. This technology fail of the week is very interesting. It's going to scare all of you if you're in Colorado. Let me just tell you that.
I think I don't know. I don't know. I think people already have heard about this one.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about that. We got This Week in Technology. We got maybe a Nathan Nugget, and, of course, our pick of the day, whiskey tasting. So sit back, raise a glass, and welcome to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Now it's time to start the show with the technology fail of the week, brought to you by Elderberry Boost. Get your Elderberry Boost today at elderberry-boost.com. Mike and Odie, let's see if you go WTF to our TFW. This week's fail comes to us from Colorado. Thousands of Xcel, Xcel is the company's name, customers were locked out of their thermostats during an energy emergency. That's what it's classified as. 22,000 people lost control of temperatures in their homes for hours Tuesday last week.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, this company, during the dog days of summer... 22,000. Yeah. During the dog days of summers, it's really important to have a thermostat that you can regulate, right? So when it gets really hot here, you like to turn it down to maybe 66 degrees, have a little bit of cool air. So if you go outside, you come on in. Yeah, a little air conditioning area.
Just got a.
Now, you pay for electricity, so it's not like it's any different. It's not like I'm getting it free or anything.
We just got a air conditioner installed at the house.
Okay.
I would be really upset if this happened.
This is what happens. So let me tell you about it. Temperature climbed into the 90s, and 22,000 people received a message on their thermostat. Now, this is a smart thermostat, so it's not a standard thermostat, but it's a smart thermostat. So you see those nests where they kind of
I'm not sure where smart comes in.
Okay.
That, but,
And it said that the temperatures were locked due to an energy emergency. Xcel confirmed that 22,000 customers signed up for the Colorado AC Reward Program were locked out of their smart thermostats for hours on Tuesday. It's a voluntary program. Let's remember that this is something the customers choose to be a part of on the incentive, says Emmett Romnan, the Vice President of Customer Relationships for Xcel.
Yeah, this is
customers receive a $100 credit for enrolling in the program and $25 annually.
See, this is...
But customers said that they also give up their ability to have control of their energy so that the company can save energy and money to make the system more reliable.
Yeah. Let's make it reliable. Let's wait till things are so hot that people are dying and they can't adjust their thermostats.
So essentially, so these smart thermostats. These are the people that signed up for this program, right?
Well, okay.
So now there's other thermostats that people.
Yeah, but there are questions about this.
Okay,
first. Did they realize what they were signing up for? Because we both know that some of this mumbo-jumbo in these contracts make no sense at all.
I don't know if they did or not.
Secondly, they're leading with this monetary gain. You'll get $100 credit and $25 off of your whatever.
Yeah, annual subscription.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So now, what happens to the people that have these smart thermostats in their houses that did not be a part of this program? Does the company still have the access? Of course they do. To turn off and regulate their heat?
Yeah, that's the third question.
Yeah,
if this is set up this way, what happens in a real emergency?
So essentially, this Xcel, this energy company in Colorado, essentially has control if you have one of their thermostats in there to regulate your temperature of your house.
This is just another corporate cash grab.
So if I'm a hacker and I come in and I go into Xcel's database and I decide to yank everybody up to 100 degrees, I can cook literally everybody out of their house, and there's not much that you can do about it if they're all tied together with the same master control
it's
system.
Funny that you go directly to the hacker part. I'm thinking this is just a corporate profit grabbing.
Oh, so you're going on that, and
I'm thinking, okay, yeah, is this really about emergency blah blah and stabilization of blah blah? It really is just them saying that they want control over your thermostat so they can save money when they want to.
Yeah,
and you go to, what if a hacker gets a hold of it?
That's true.
What if a hacker gets a hold of it?
I could literally, during the summer months, cook you out of your house at 100 degrees, and then during the winter months, I could turn your thermostat down to
buddy.
off.
I lived in Arizona.
So you lived in Arizona, so it wouldn't be. Yeah. Odie, have you ever heard of an electric company being able to control your thermostat for your house?
bad.
I want to say no, but my mom feels that way about Nest heating systems.
Yeah.
Because she really hates the fact that it turns off some point in the night because she's so cold.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, they're always changing it when that's just like a setting.
Yeah. I'd be careful with Nest too. So I'll just tell you, I love technology.
Yeah.
I have a manual
I do
thermostat
too.
I do to regulate everything at my hand. And I have tons of other smart devices, cameras. China can look at our cameras because I buy cheap cameras.
how many old school things do you run around with? Because
That's the only thing.
I do. I will not have a thermostat that will get upgraded to Nest ever.
Really?
No. Do you know how easy it would be to go on in and to regulate that for somebody?
No.
It is so easy.
Maybe my mom's onto something.
Yeah, I think
I didn't want a smart thermostat. We got a nice upgraded thermostat.
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
I didn't want a smart thermostat.
We still have the ones where you
But
have the hot and the cold, and you still kind of put the little two
We had
levers on top.
dials.
Okay, yeah, I know what you mean. I got those too. Yeah, I got you.
Not anymore though.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That was our fail of the week.
Yeah, I know
Be
that.
careful. Your energy company may be able to take control of your home for their heating. What else can they take control of? That was brought to you.
As soon as somebody has heat stroke or something because of something that they pulled, they're in trouble.
Yeah, then legalities will come into, and they'll say, "Oh, but you got your discounted though, so you got your $100 off."
And it's gonna blow up in their face.
Is there a way to track that though?
So here's the thing: everybody that has one of these devices now should know, whether they're a part of the program or not, that the company now has access just to come on in to regulate it on the back end. If I was a customer not signing up for their plan, I would immediately call them back up today and say, you need to come on out here and I want a manual thermostat. I'm not going to be on your system anymore.
Well,
I'll get something else.
I guarantee you that a lot of those people that signed up for that program and didn't realize what it actually meant are now opting out of that program.
That probably makes sense. All right. Well, there you go. Mike.
There you go.
That was our technology fail of the week.
Yeah,
Mike, as always, we have our whiskey tasting during the commercials to see if we have our selected whiskey. Pick of the day gets 0, 1, or 2 thumbs up at the end of the show. We want to make sure you listen all the way through to pick up a few interesting facts on Marc's Mumbles that will make you go, with the whiskey facts of the week. Now it's time for the latest headlines in the world of technology.
What's happening in the world of technology? This is our top stories in the first 5 minutes.
All right, story number 1.
Guess what?
What? What's that?
What?
Go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
I'm just saying this is what we're going to lead with. And You probably knew it was coming.
Yeah, J.R.R. Tolkien, Middle Earth is at it again. We have a few snippets of audio to set the stage.
You have been told many lies of Middle Earth.
Today, our days of peace begin.
We thought our joys would be unending. We thought our light would never dim.
The skies are strange.
There can be no trust between hammer and rock. Eventually, one or the other must surely break.
Can I just say that sounds really, really stinking cool?
It is.
I'm so mad at myself that I
haven't watched this yet?
Yeah.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, because I read reviews that said it was bad, and I didn't want to get myself.
You never read reviews.
Listen.
It is by far.
Never ever read reviews.
I think it's. I am so excited. I almost think it's better than any of the other films I've watched of this series. I am totally intrigued.
Say that.
Okay, that's a
that's
terrible
a
thing to say.
Why? It was
You're
much better than The Hobbit. The Hobbit.
The Hobbit is just like a throwaway.
Yeah, okay.
You just don't acknowledge that whatsoever.
There would absolutely be none of this if it weren't for the original.
Okay, that's true. J.R.R. Tolkien rules them all with the release of Amazon's The Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power set off the sprawling, epic fantasy credentials right off from the beginning. Now, the Prime Video series arrived under a staggering weight of expectation in 2017 when Amazon paid author J.R.R. Tolkien's estate, listen to this, $250 million, not for the rights to remake Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, but to merely set a story with the author's world of Middle Earth. Financial advisors describe the deal as insane. Jeff Bezos, though, Empire has reportedly spent a further $462 million on the first season, which averages out to nearly $60 million an episode. The company says 25 million people worldwide watched The Ring of Power for its first day of release. I didn't watch it on the first day. I watched it on like day 3.
I watched it the day after.
Okay, so it essentially debuted across the United States and Prime Video. And of course, Elon Musk, our buddy, has some thoughts on Amazon's new Lord of the Rings series. So, we like to cover them each week. So here's what we got.
Yep.
So he says on Twitter Monday, August 5th, Musk tweeted out, Tolkien is turning in his grave. He then alluded that it's taken by complaints. Almost every male character so far is a coward, a jerk, or both. Only Galadriel is brave, smart, and nice. And just for good measure, Musk ended the thread with a non-sequential complaint about the plethora... Non-sequitur. Complaint about the plethora of bots.
Oh, there's that word.
In his reply. Then again, all publicity is good publicity. If Musk's 105 million followers on Twitter are convinced by his tweets, then even hate watching The Rings of Power will include more eyeballs for the videos for Bezos.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's kind of, so he doesn't like it at all.
No, there's so much.
Why don't you like it? I thought it was great.
I thought it was okay. I wasn't excited about it as much as I was when the original Lord of the Rings thing, but things have changed since then.
Okay.
But it's not bad. It just sort of everything is brought down by all the stupid criticisms that people have to say about these things.
So I didn't listen to any of them. I didn't read any of the stuff. I watched the first 2 episodes with no other ancillary stuff. And then I literally spent hours on the internet
looking at all the criticisms.
Looking at which characters which. They got the stranger here, and they got this guy on this boat here. So trying to figure out
who is who.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting. All right, well, I think you got story number 2, Mike.
Yeah, so a few months ago we talked about Instagram. Remember that? We talked about how Facebook/Meta was rolling out this Instagram and doing all these protections for kids and yada, yada, blah, blah.
Yep.
Well, Meta has been given a €405 million fine on Monday.
Wow.
From Ireland's data watchdog, the Data Protection Commission, for failing to protect kids' privacy on Instagram.
Okay. And what are a couple of those issues of that?
It's partly based on the fact that Instagram had allowed children to operate business accounts on its platform. Instagram business accounts show the account holder's name, phone number, and email address, meaning that data was exposed. It also found accounts of 13 to 17-year-olds that were set to public as their default setting.
So that means anybody can get to them then?
So these can be viewed by anybody that is looking.
Correct.
Right? The fine was given to Instagram this past Monday because of that. And, of course, a Meta spokesperson in a statement said, this inquiry is focused on old settings that we updated over a year ago, probably when we talked about it. And we've since released many new features to help keep teens safe and their information private. While we're engaged fully with the DPC throughout their inquiry, we disagree with how this fine was calculated and intend to appeal it.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So Meta did change their settings by default. They did it about a year ago, but that's not the problem. The problem is I created an account 2 years ago. If I created it 2 years ago, then it's still listed as public. It didn't go back and change that status for those accounts for those ages. Mm-hmm. What it did is they only fixed moving forward. They didn't care about any of the stuff that was done previously. So it's pretty much Meta turned a blind eye to anything that happened until they came out with their new releases.
Here's the deal, and I don't know if this is the actual case with Instagram, but they set these defaults by default.
Yep.
That means they can be changed and then not monitored. So it's like all these sort of double meaning protections that all these social media companies are putting so they can market to the younger and younger audiences. It doesn't really do anything but sound good. Because if my 13-year-old, which I don't have,
Yeah.
can go on, open up a new Instagram account and reset all these defaults to what he wants them to be, say public or whatever. That takes the responsibility, quote unquote, out of Instagram, because that means that we did what we could to protect that person.
Yeah, they don't disable the public stuff. They don't disable any of that.
So it really is meaningless. And if they get, this is the second largest fine that they've gotten for doing something.
Yep.
The first largest fine from the EU was $887 million issued to Amazon back in July of last year.
Yeah, Bezos was number one. Yep.
Yep. So but does it really affect them that much?
No, because
they're making billions of dollars.
Yeah, this is just like print money. It's monopoly.
Yeah, $405 million. Oh.
Here you go. And I have insurance on that, so I don't even have to worry about it, right? All right, story number 3. Brazil orders Apple to suspend iPhone sales without a charger. Now, do you realize that if you buy a new Apple device, a new phone, depends on what model you buy, because if you buy the high-end models, they come with chargers. But if you buy one of the lower-end models, it doesn't necessarily come with a charger. So you have a phone.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you have a phone, and especially in different nations, different countries, different areas out there, Apple is very aggressive.
Like places that are considered third world countries?
That's
maybe?
correct. So Brazil's government on Tuesday ordered Apple to stop selling iPhones without a battery charger in the country, claiming that the company provides an incomplete product to consumers.
Well, yeah,
it kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Hey,
how can I charge my phone?
That's right. I just bought a brand new iPhone from Amazon.
I get it for 2.5 hours of setting it up, because it only comes halfway charged when you get it. So I get 2.5 hours of the charge, and then
where's
after
the charger? Oh.
Okay.
This is like batteries not included.
That's right. The Justice Ministry fined Apple $2.38 million, which is actually insignificant to these $400 million, right? $2.38 million, and ordered the cancellation of the sale of the iPhone 12 and newer models, in addition to suspending the sale of any iPhone model that does not come with a power charger. In the order published by the country's official gazette, the ministry argued that the iPhone was lacking an essential component in the deliberate discrimination practices against consumers. The authorities rejected Apple's argument that the practice had been put in place to reduce carbon emissions.
Oh, my gosh.
Saying that there is no evidence. This is what they say. There's no evidence of environmental protection from selling the smartphone without a charger.
Okay.
So what?
Yeah, that's like buying a new Xbox and not having the controller. But like, well, there's no evidence that you needed the controller to actually turn on the Xbox.
You can just turn it on and look at it, and then you got to play.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Story number 4: Facebook is shutting down its Nextdoor clone next month.
That's actually
following
nice
tests in the
thing.
U.S. and Canada. What's that?
I said that's nice.
Yeah. So essentially, here's what Facebook did. Have you ever looked at the app Nextdoor?
I have it.
I like it. You hate it?
Yeah, because mostly it's about
criminal
activity, which really doesn't do any good for
after the fact
watching it.
Okay.
And then the common drivel that you find on normal social media, where people are talking about how much they hate their neighbors.
Yeah, they don't like this fence, or they don't like this,
or
fireworks went off at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, my political
believe it.
opinions are better than your political opinions, and blah, blah, blah.
So essentially, Nextdoor came out first. Of course, Facebook decided to compete with it, right? Because they couldn't create something new.
I know.
And then they started...
Monkey do.
Yeah, so then they started releasing it. It was called Neighborhoods, and they bought the domain name and everything, and they realized that people were not using it. They were essentially didn't want to use the Facebook equivalent.
No way.
Yeah, since Nextdoor was already launched and had already been a part of the dominant factor. Essentially, Nextdoor took the challenge when Facebook said that they were going to put out their neighborhood app and essentially double down on the social elements, its products, its update, and revamped its service. Facebook's decision to move away from the local content comes at a time when the company is putting more focus on becoming a recommendation and a discovery engine for content as it ramps up to compete against TikTok.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing in a couple of months, we're going to be seeing, hey, Facebook quits using its TikTok feature.
That's probably because TikTok already.
I don't know if it's more surprising that these companies continue to do this kind of monkey see, monkey do stuff, or that we keep hearing all these articles about how they're shutting it down. And
Well, so I will say this, which is nice about at least Facebook. We give them a hard time, but at least when they start a project and then they quit a project, they at least make announcements. A lot of companies just hide their closures when they have something kind of dissolve.
Oh, sure.
Microsoft's really, really good at
They
this.
can ghost.
So they'll just have something.
That's ghosting at a higher level.
And then all of a sudden it's like, hey, that webpage doesn't work anymore. Oh, yeah, we discontinued that app 6 months ago. Oh, really? I didn't see anything. Oh, no, yeah, sorry.
That's why. You didn't even know it was gone for 6 months.
That's right. Facebook says it will continue to use its Facebook groups because those are doing so successful right now that they don't need to.
That kind of what the Nextdoor app is? It's just like a big Facebook group.
It is. It really is. And there's my wife's on a gazillion of these Facebook groups. I'm on a ton of Facebook groups also.
I have,
and so it works really well. So I don't know why I would want to load their neighborhood.
I don't know. It's just full of the same stuff that Nextdoor app is.
It's all just griping and groaning.
Just griping and
groaning. All right.
Up
Up next, we have our segment, Ask the Expert, with a guest that might help me on my fantasy football leagues, all 20 of them. All right.
I don't know.
He's the founder of Consensus, but worked at a company that is a sports leader in daily fantasy games. Our guest, Eric Olson, provides evidence-based answers faster and creates a whole new way to search for data. We'll be back in a moment to talk about this and more. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's happening?
Did you know for every $1 spent on email marketing, you receive $36 in return? That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's all so complicated. All those advanced tools and features, you don't know how to approach them at all.
What if there was an email marketing platform where you don't have to rack your brains to get started? A tool that's not overloaded with unnecessary features you don't want to pay for, and, believe it or not, has a support team available 24/7, even on the free plan.
There is a solution, Mike. Let me introduce you to Xcel, a tool that makes email marketing as easy as 1, 2, 3. With Xcel, you can launch your first campaign in 15 minutes. No coding required. A very easy to use, intuitive email builder with over 300,000 gifts and stickers to choose from, and 500,000 plus free stock images, a customizable countdown timer, and more. Create emails for any business goal, from e-commerce to nonprofits. Easily create automated email sequences for your business.
Get 24/7 support via chat, email, and phone, even on the free plan. Xcel has just launched a special deal. You can now get a lifetime access to all Xcel features for just $49. All the core features, unlimited emails, automation, segmentation, advanced analytics for the price of 10 lattes.
Xcel is the easiest way to start selling with emails. Try it now. Click the link in this episode description on TechTime Radio to get that special deal.
No commissions or hidden fees.
To learn more information, visit them at the simple and easy site to remember. Just go and visit Xcelzy.com. That's SELZY.com. The easiest way to send emails. Welcome back to Tech Time with Nathan Mumm. Tech Time Radio is a weekly hour technology show that talks about current technology in a simple format without having to geek out. Brought to you by myself, Nathan Mumm, and Mike Day. We just had our first whiskey tasting during the break. And now let me tell you about what we are sipping for our pick of the day during the show. We have chosen the Finlagen Islay Single Malt Old Reserve. $22 for a bottle, 80 proof. Many centuries ago, the Lords of the Isles ruled Scotland from their stronghold in Finlagen Castle. Finlagen. You keep on calling it Finlagen? Okay, Finlagen Castle. But today, it's malt whiskey, of which legends are made. An Isle Scot, this whiskey has intense flavors of smoke, peat, firewood, caramelized sugar, iodine. I don't know. That's Marc Mumbles put the iodine in there. And vanilla.
Well, it's correct because it tastes like licking an old fireplace.
Like an old fireplace.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you were just to have some random need to go and stick your face in your fireplace and lick the hearth, that's what this would taste like.
So you tell me you like it?
No.
No.
It seriously tastes like smoke.
It tastes like smoke.
It tastes like smoke and burnt wood.
Okay.
Maybe a little vanilla. Maybe I spilled pudding on the hearth and I just needed to get it off. I don't know, but it's a strong taste.
This is just distilled in Scotland, so you're just telling me the Scotland people have a
I'm telling
you that
palate? I'm telling you that this Scotch
is
strong in the weird direction.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, well, we just had... stay tuned to see if we give this a thumbs up or thumbs down. I think Mike Roday is leaning one way or the other. All right.
I don't know. I might have to take up a new hobby.
Let's get our next segment ready. Today on the show, we have Eric Olson, a talented data science professional with a master's in predictive analytics from Northwestern University. Here you go. Here's a guy right up your alley here, Mike. He's a master's in predictive analytics. Before
That has
consensus,
nothing to do with
forensic
actually,
psychology.
Actually,
It
it does
does
a little bit.
Yeah.
It does a little bit.
All right,
Because I have to make predictions based on behavior.
There you go. Before consensus, Eric worked at the sports entertainment company DraftKings, where he was an analytics specialist building predictive machine learning models, and is now the founder of Consensus, providing evidence-based answers faster. Let's start this segment.
This is a segment we call Ask the Experts.
All right, Eric, welcome to the show. So, where are you joining us from?
I am in rainy Boston right now. It's about 6:30 our time.
Okay, well, welcome to the show.
We
Now,
normally say we're in rainy Seattle, but it's
I know.
sunny.
it's a beautiful out right now. It's a beautiful day, so I don't know. All right, well, last night I had my big fantasy football draft, so I got TB, my buddy Tom Brady. You know, I have a big man crush on him, and so I should be in good shape. Now, it says that you worked for DraftKings, so this means you're a football expert, right?
I don't know about that. I played college football and I worked at DraftKings in sports betting and fantasy football for a few years. So maybe more than the average person, but I still seem to lose my buddies who don't know anything about football and fantasy football. So
Okay.
expert is relative.
Now, I have played absolutely on DraftKings, and I get all these promo codes all the time for playing on DraftKings. So I am excited about it. I do the daily fantasy. I do the weekly fantasy.
So what do you want?
Well, I'm just saying that I know about it. So tell me, what did you do at DraftKings there, Eric? Give us a little bit about what you did.
Yeah, so I worked in the sports betting world, and what I did is build models that tried to estimate the skill of the customers. So basically, you take in all of the betting history of a customer, you throw it into a model, and you try to predict if this person kept doing this, how much money would we expect to make or not make on this person. So basically, we're trying to estimate the betting skill of our users.
The betting skill of the user. Okay.
Hey, you know what?
What's that?
I think you're not a very good
Well, I don't
bettor.
know. Hang on. So
If you're getting a lot of promotions, that means you're probably not a good
oh, is that what that means? So if I get all the free role plays that I get all the time on those,
See, yeah.
that means I'm not good. So would you guys like regulate people that were good then? Is that kind of what you...
Yeah.
Yeah, almost all sportsbooks do that. If it is suspected that somebody would be a winning lifetime bettor, they will be limited in how much they're allowed to bet. And if you're not suspected to be a winning lifetime bettor, you will get all sorts of lucrative promotions.
Uh-oh.
Well,
It's like,
I guess
all
we're
right,
going to have
it's
something to
doing
talk about
coffee
at
dinner.
dinner.
All right, honey. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Okay. All right. So data analytics is driving a passion of yours. How are you now using that at your new company then? So if you're into data analytics, tell us a little bit about your company.
So what I do now is I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Consensus. And what we do is we're a new search engine that allows you to find answers in scientific research to your questions. So the basic idea is if you have a question, you go to Google and say, is red wine actually good for my heart? Instead of getting a bunch of advertisements thrown back at you, what we'll do is we'll actually only search through scientific documents and pull out studies and answers that have looked to address that question that you asked. So the idea is to try to make
that's
getting
exciting.
more rigorous evidence-based information as easy as it is to type in a question in Google.
Okay.
That's really exciting.
Mike went from, okay, who's this guy? Now he's got a big grinning smile.
Yeah, that's
Like,
okay.
Okay, so
That's all right.
you get some questions to ask here, Mike. You can absolutely jump right in and ask it. All right. So you put these aggregates together. So
yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is that when I was in grad school and I was looking for research online, you always have to pay for it because online journals and stuff require subscriptions.
Okay.
So how does that affect the data collection?
Okay, you know what? We're just going to go right into that question. Okay, explain that to us, Eric. How does Consensus work with that?
No, it's a great question. So by using Consensus, you don't get a subscription to any of the providers. However, where we get our data is actually from somebody right in your guys' backyard. the Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence and their research discovery tool, Semantic Scholar. And a very, very high percentage of their data is open access. And the good news is that the trend is in our favor. And more research is becoming open access. And I don't know if you guys saw, I think it was last week or the week before, there actually is now an executive order to make all research that has been federally funded open access and accessible to anybody. So the paywalls are going down, and we hope to continue to be a part of that.
All right, so now Google isn't one of our biggest friends, right? Because Google, I mean, it's not a horrible search engine, but it's all about advertising. So if I go to look for wine,
you're not going to plug Bing, are you?
No, I'm not going to plug Bing. All right, so hang on. But if I go and I search for red wine, I'm going to get a Wines and More ad that will probably come up. I'm going to get a whole bunch of ads. To really,
I remember when Google started, and you could Google something and you could get some straightforward sort of answers. Yep. But now you have to sift through all the stupid advertisements, through all the puff pieces and everything to get to real research.
Real research. Yep. So tell us a little bit about your company, Consensus, how your search algorithm is going to work. Are you guys going to be a website that I can go search on? Tell us a little bit more about that, Eric.
Yeah, so we're actually launching publicly this week, so you can go and access our product at consensus.app and type in a query yourself to see how it works. But yeah, basically the way it works is that we've hired a bunch of scientists to go through research papers and annotate papers. So they go through and they mark up and they say, when are authors stating their claims? When are they making a conclusion based on the evidence of their study? And they go through thousands of papers and mark those up. You can then feed all those annotations to machine learning models and say, hey, look for the patterns of what it looks like when authors are stating their conclusions or stating something that could be an answer to a question. We then are able to train models to go through and find those in hundreds of millions of papers, pull them out, and then build a search engine over top of those claims that allows us to say, a user to now type in a question and go try to find an answer in a research paper that matches that question.
Hey, does this process also differentiate between those research papers that have been already peer reviewed and those that are just published to all these kind of, fly-by-night places?
Yeah, so the vast majority are peer-reviewed. Again, the data that we have is from Semantic Scholar. So whatever gatekeeping they do for their data set is what we're subject to. The vast majority there are some things that are from like conferences that are typically fairly reputable as well, but may not be actually, technically peer-reviewed. But the vast majority of the data set is peer-reviewed.
So if I do a puff piece, because all these companies do these puff pieces, right? So is red wine, we'll take that example. Is red wine good for you? And then I'll be a little puff piece. I'll write a paragraph and a half with some SEO words, and then I'll be like, buy this red wine and buy this type of deal and buy this.
Well, there's also these sort of quote unquote journals that will publish pieces that have not been reviewed or are publishing research that's really not done well, but it gives somebody some sort of form of credit.
Yep.
And
so you guys weed those out? Is that kind of Consensus weeds those out through your guys' database that you guys are using?
Yeah, so there will be no, blog posts or puff pieces in this data set. There's no editorialized content in it. And that is, exactly sort of the problems that we're solving for is exactly what you're talking about of when you type something into Google, you're very likely to either get advertisements for what you're typing into or some puff piece that has been, specifically SEO hacked to try to come up first.
Perfect.
Yeah. That's exciting. That's exciting.
So I knew you were going to like this.
Yeah. That's because, we didn't talk about any of this, so I had no idea who was on the radio today.
I know, because I did it because it was a weekend. We didn't do our normal Monday type of deal. Okay.
But, this is where I'm excited.
All right.
I'm excited.
You're excited? You're excited.
I'd love to hear it.
All right, so let's talk about the future of specialized vertical search. So can you explain just a little bit to the everyday listener on kind of what you're doing? You explained your search algorithms and what you're doing. What's the idea of the vertical search algorithm?
Yeah, totally. So basically it's the idea that this field of natural language processing, which is machine's ability to take in human text, understand it, analyze it, interpret it, is really booming right now. And as this continues to get better and better, there's going to be tons of opportunities for new products to emerge in this search space that do specific specialized tasks really, 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 really well. and what that's going to be awesome for the consumer, because not only are going to have these awesome products that do all these really, really cool tasks, it also means we can start to wean ourselves off of the Googles and these general purpose ad-based models. So we'll have these specialized products that are so good that they could actually be subscription-based for a small cost, which then means that you no longer have to use this giant general purpose, all it does is deliver you links, advertising-based engine.
Okay.
Woohoo.
All right. So, Eric, what's the name of your website? How can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so the name of the website is consensus.app. That's the best place to get in touch with us. And the product is now live as of this week. So go on there, create an account, and all those questions that you had of say, hey, I wonder what the research, what the science actually says about them, fire them off and see how we handle it. It's the beginning of the road. The product's only going to get better. So it definitely doesn't do perfectly on every search, but go off, fire off those questions, and hopefully you can learn something.
All right, great. We really appreciate you being a part of the show. Let me just tell you, Mr. Gourdet just got away from all of his notes, and he's looking at
I'm looking at it right now.
Right now on his PC. So that's great. All right. Thank you very much, Eric. Hopefully we can touch base with you maybe in a couple months, and you can highlight some of the new features that you have for your site.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Great. Have a good day.
You guys too.
Bye-bye.
Well, that ends our segment, Ask the Expert. Up next, we have This Week in Technology. So now's a great time to enjoy a little whiskey on the side, as we'll be doing so during the break. You're listening to TechTime Radio with Nathan Mumm.
Drink some more campfire.
And now, let's look back at this week in technology.
September 7th, 1998, Google files for incorporation. Larry Page and Sergey Brin file incorporated papers in California on a Friday for Google. The date of the official incorporation would not be marked on that Friday, but instead marked on Monday, September 7th. Starting out as a privately held company, Google would hold their IPO about 6 years later on August 19, 2004. The company has since rapidly grown to offer a multitude of products and services beyond Google search, many which hold dominant market positions. These products addressed a wide range of use cases, including email, which is known as Gmail, navigation, which is Maps, cloud computing, their Google Cloud, web browsing, Chrome, video sharing on YouTube, operating system, Android, cloud storage, which is called Google Drive, language translation, maybe you've heard of Google Translate, photo storage called Photo, and video call services called Meet. A smart home system called Nest, smartphones which we talked about, smartphones called Pixels, and a wearable technology Fitbit, along with the gaming studio Stadia. This is just a list of the few of the items the company that started with search now dominates in. How many of these products do you use each and every week, Mike? Out of that list, I probably use half of those.
I use them.
I use YouTube.
I don't use Nest.
You don't use Nest, though? That's good. I used to use Fitbit, but I probably need to use Fitbit a little bit more.
I have Fitbit.
All right, well,
don't carry it with me.
Okay. Well, that was This Week in Technology. If you ever wanted to watch some Tech Time history with over 2 years of video, podcasts, and blog information, you can visit techtimeradio.com to watch our older shows or join our Tech Timers Facebook group to talk with us all live all the time. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we have What We Found on the Web fall TV sci-fi series to look forward to. We'll see you after this break.
Hey, Mike.
What?
Have you heard of elderberry?
Only in reference to a Monty Python movie.
Well, let me tell you, Elderberry Boost. Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Yes, Mike, that's Elderberry Boost.
You can choose organic Elderberry Boost, that 8-ounce size. That's available on sale right now at $11.99. But you're listening here right now on Tech Time Radio, so you need to go to Elderberry. That's ELDERBERRY-boost.com and get some today.
Elderberry Boost.
Elderberry is an all-natural organic immune system booster and antiviral. Elderberry is known to actively fight against viruses, including colds and the flu. It also works as a natural remedy for allergies, cancer, digestion, heart disease, high cholesterol, headache, toothache, weight loss, and reduced inflammation.
It's a natural and healthy diuretic and has many antiviral properties. While it is famous for fighting the flu, it is effective for any illness.
Elderberry Boost was created to provide a quality organic elderberry to their customers. After searching years ago for a perfect elderberry syrup. None could be found, so they essentially created their own homemade recipe.
If you would like to get 15% off your first order of Elderberry Boost, just put in the discount code TechTime at checkout.
Again, that's elderberry-boost.com.
Elderberry Boost.
Hello, my name is Arthur, and my life's work is connecting people with coffee. StoriCoffee is a small batch specialty coffee company that uses technology to connect people to each product resource, which allows farmers to unlock their economic freedom. Try our Medium Roast Founder Series coffee, which is an exotic bourbon variety that is smooth, fresh, and elegant at StoriCoffee.com. That's STORI coffee.com. Today you can get your first bag free when you subscribe at StoriCoffee.com with code TechTime. That's STORI coffee.com.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, what's happening?
Did you know for every $1 spent on email marketing, you receive $36 in return? That's pretty awesome, right?
Yeah.
But it's all so complicated. All those advanced tools and features, you don't know how to approach them at all.
What if there was an email marketing platform where you don't have to rack your brains to get started? A tool that's not overloaded with unnecessary features you don't want to pay for, and, believe it or not, has a support team available 24/7, even on the free plan.
There is a solution, Mike. Let me introduce you to Xcel, a tool that makes email marketing as easy as 1, 2, 3. With Xcel, you can launch your first campaign in 15 minutes. No coding required. A very easy to use, intuitive email builder with over 300,000 gifts and stickers to choose from, and 500,000 plus free stock images, a customizable countdown timer, and more. Create emails for any business goal, from e-commerce to nonprofits. Easily create automated email sequences for your business.
Get 24/7 support via chat, email, and phone, even on the free plan. Xcel has just launched a special deal. You can now get a lifetime access to all Xcel features for just $49. All the core features, unlimited emails, automation, segmentation, advanced analytics for the price of 10 lattes.
Xcel is the easiest way to start selling with emails. Try it now. Click the link in this episode description on TechTime Radio to get that special deal.
No commissions or hidden fees.
To learn more information, visit them at the simple and easy site to remember. Just go and visit Xcelzy.com. That's SELZY.com. The easiest way to send emails.
And now for Marc's Mumbles. All right, here we go. Fight Procrastination Day. September 6th is Fight Procrastination Day.
I'll do that tomorrow.
It's an opportunity for you to face your procrastination issues head on. Marc wants to make sure everybody has a chance. For all of you that have been victim of the powerful urge to push everything out to a later date, now is the day to make a change.
Can I just
I'll do
say,
that tomorrow.
I procrastinated taking that whiskey, and I regret doing that.
Hang on.
I should have just not taken it.
So today we're sipping the Finlagen Islay Single Malt Old Reserve, $22.80 proof from Trader Joe's. Now, Marc's Mumble says
Trader
mystery surrounds the Islay's Single Malt Scotch, as there are many who wonder which distillery is responsible for producing this whiskey.
Okay.
The source has remained very closely a guarded secret. There is little to no information on the distillery responsible for this, and the only information is available that it's a series in the Vintage Malt Whiskey Company portfolio. It also seems to be an exclusive for Trader Joe's in the United States. Thanks, honey, for picking it up. This whiskey is hard for Marc to judge, as he does not like single malt liquors, let alone with peat and smoke. A huge thumb downs from Marc's personal taste. Marc has heard it may be a good alternative for those who would like to spend less than a more expensive name brand that has a better palate and flavor.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I don't know. I think this would be the same as just finding a piece of charcoal on the ground and sucking on it for a while.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
it's well, I don't know.
It gets worse as it breathes, too.
As it breathes, that's not a very good thing.
No.
All right, well, now we're going to move on to our next segment right now.
What we found on the web.
All right, fall is around the corner, and the back-to-school time is significant for TV, and fall TV shows are about to start. We talked about the Rings of Power, but now there's a couple other sci-fi items in fantasy genre television that is coming up this fall. Mike, you're going to start us off with a look at TV this fall.
Yeah, awesome.
All right.
I'm not sure why, but a new show coming out is called Vampire Academy.
Ooh, okay.
Based on the novelist Rochelle Mead's Vampire Academy book series. This tells the adventures of students at St. Vladimir's Academy boarding school, which I have no idea why.
Okay, where does it premiere on?
Premieres September 15th on Peacock.
Okay. All right, next up, Quantum Leap. Oh boy, Quantum Leap, the beloved 90s time travel series.
Why didn't I get that one?
This is on NBC, so it's going to get canceled, just like NBC screwed up the first time they did Quantum Leap, where they had it on and they canceled, and they had it on and they canceled. So hopefully they get it right. But this continues the 30-year quest of the Continuum. Sam Beckett, Scott Bakula was the actor, is still lost somewhere in time. They didn't even finish the series right, and they misspelled his name at the end credits. So there's some craziness going on there. But now we have Dr. Ben Sung Raymond Lee, who is taking over the leaping duties for the newly revived Project Quantum Leap. Expect some tweak to the rules of the first series with a new cast and a new mystery to solve. Premieres on September 19th on NBC.
Are they going to find
new episodes?
Dr.
Will air
Beckett?
weekly.
Are they going to go find Dr. Beckett?
Well, I think they offered him an opportunity to be in the show, and I haven't heard of what's going to happen.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. Now, here's an interesting one.
Yeah?
Go ahead.
All right. Andor from Lucasfilms. The end of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, was pretty much a final for the squad of the rebel volunteers who stole the Death Star plans. And that's why we're deciding to do a new sequel about the spy that is already dead and a prequel that tracks how the man becomes the legend of the movie. A 2-season series, essentially Andor in Season 1, tells Andor's origin story against the backdrop of the rising rebellion against the Empire. Audiences will get to see this. We get to come to see the fighter at the age of 6 that gets recruited into the rebellion as one of the most successful undercover agents ever. Andor brings back several other known characters and introduces a large ensemble cast with brand new faces.
Of course. Yeah.
Premieres on Disney Plus September 21st. New episodes will air weekly. All right. La Brea Season 2.
I think that's La Brea.
La Brea Season 2. Now, I have no idea. I watched like 2 episodes of the first one, and it was so bad. But I guess it's coming out with Season 2. It's going to premiere on September 27th on NBC. So there you go. If you're into the La Brea season, it's going to be back. La Brea. Okay. You're up next.
Well, I don't know why I get saddled with all the vampire ones. Okay. But Interview with the Vampire, AMC is launching their Anne Rice universe this fall with series Interview with the Vampire. Game of Thrones, Jacob Anderson, who played Grey Worm, will play Louis. The vampire gets grilled by the curious reporter. Daniel Malloy. With adjustments to the story's time and place, Rice purists will have some quibbles, probably already on Twitter. But the series plans to dive into plenty of the themes and relationships that made the book a classic. Premieres October 2nd on AMC, and then Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosity is coming to Netflix. Series collection of scary and spooky tales in an anthology meant to coincide with the Halloween season. Premieres on October 25th on Netflix.
All right, and then we got Willow. You remember Willow?
Yes, I remember.
Willow Warwick Davis returns as the mighty dwarf sorcerer in a continuation to the story that originated in 1988 with the same film name. A new threat blooms, and Willow is tasked to help thwart the impending doom. Another old meets the new ensemble piece. We're excited to see the long-dormant high fantasy world with a special edition. It premieres November 30th on Disney+. New episodes will air weekly.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to move right into our Mike's Mesmerizing Moment. This is Mike's Mesmerizing Moment, presented by StoriCoffee. Visit StoriCoffee.com. All right, why do we love fantasy movies and series?
Short answer is escapism.
Okay.
It helps us put our own problems into a sort of holding power while we watch people do things that are similar in a space that's kind of fantastic and
so it's
awesome.
escapism.
It's
we
escapism,
like
yeah.
escape.
It's the same reason why we play video games or watch soap operas or anything else. We take our problems and are able to set them aside in order to go into a voyeuristic fantasy of watching somebody else solve theirs. So,
all right, there you go. So All right, let's move to our pick of the day here. We got our pick of the day, the Finn Ladigan.
Finn Logan.
All right. Islay single
you
malt.
You did that on purpose,
I do.
You?
Old malt, single malt, old reserve, $22, 80 proof. Thumbs up, thumbs down, Mike.
This is nasty. I'm going to...
Thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
I'm giving it a thumbs down. Odie?
Thumbs down.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining our show today. Remember, the science of tomorrow starts with the technology of today. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on TechTime Radio. We hope that you had a chance to have that moment today in technology. The fun doesn't stop there. We recommend that you go to techtimeradio.com and join our fan list for the most important aspect of staying connected and winning some really great monthly prizes. We also have a few other ways to stay connected, including subscribing to our podcast on any podcast service, from Apple to Google and everything in between. We're also on YouTube, so check us out on youtube.com/techtimeradio, all one word. We hope you enjoyed the show as much as we did making it for you. From all of us at TechTime Radio, remember, Mumm's the word. Have a safe and fantastic week.